Good morning. Let's see who's that. Joanne, how are you today?
I'm good. Did you have a good Mother's Day?
I did. How about you?
It was lovely. It
Yeah.
was beautiful.
Oh my gosh, it was. It got cold.
I know. I'm just schlepping my basil plants like in and out of the garage.
Yeah, so we've decided we'll leave these in tonight. I think tonight it's getting to 42 or something. And
Yeah.
and then hopefully tomorrow out and they stay out. Is that what you're doing? Okay.
Yes. I'm getting tired of babying these things. It costs me $3 a piece, you know?
It's so funny. Well, some of mine are big old Florida plants and things like that. So
Right.
I think some of them would be pretty sensitive. So I'm definitely gonna keep them in. I'm not gonna take a chance. But I also have some little baby ones that I actually did leave outside. Actually, I need to look at them. Yesterday or day before, I pulled up about 50 maple saplings, and but I left them outside. I guess they're okay because they're used to being here, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and we used to have that happen in Massachusetts all the time.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So they seem good. I'm glad to see you, Joanne. Thanks for being here.
You see here. Hello, everybody else.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning, Suzanne. How are you today?
I'm good.
Happy
Good
Mother's
morning,
Day.
Joey. Glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here too. I appreciate it. Feels good to know that there's people out there in virtual land.
You know, I'm paraphrasing it, but in addition to what you've been talking about, the
Mm-hmm.
way we perceive things, Ruth said yesterday that said something that really hit me, and I'm paraphrasing it, so maybe Joanne will have to fix it. But her expression was muting the quotations of our words.
Muting the quotations of our words. Wow.
I thought, yeah, I mean, how many
Yeah,
times have I used the four-letter word what? But by changing the quotations at the end, whether it's an exclamation or a question, it covers a lot of things, and I
absolutely.
have to be careful which one I choose.
That's a great quote. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that. I'm gonna have to
I
hope it's okay if
I
I
wrote
tell
it
Ruth
down.
that.
Yeah, I wrote it down. So, but it's not in front of me, so I'm paraphrasing it. But
Well,
anyway, you get the gist.
I do, and I feel the same way. I have to have everything written down in front of me, and it still sometimes doesn't come out right.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Suzanne. Friends, we still have a few minutes, but we'll be using 2 blocks today. So if you need to go grab a couple blocks or books or whatever you use, get them ready.
Okay, I went to get it.
What does it say?
Well, as I said, I paraphrased it.
Right?
Quieting the punctuations of the mind.
Okay. But you were right on. Punctuations, quotations, and muting and quieting.
Yeah,
Quieting the punctuations of the mind. Wow, I
yeah,
like that very much.
yeah.
I'm glad
All
you
right,
wrote it
thanks.
down. Thank you, Suzanne. Morning, Michael.
Hi, everybody.
How are you today?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
Happy to see you there.
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Cheryl. You look as if you're outside.
I am.
Oh, how beautiful. It looks like a beautiful day. You've already got more sunshine than I do. Oh, where are you?
At the coast.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for that picture.
Everybody. Thank you for teaching us
Wow.
today, Rosie.
Wow, thanks for joining in from there. Beautiful.
I'm muting now.
Okay, Cheryl, thanks for being here with that beautiful picture. Well, that's kind of cool that we can be in different places and still take class. Lots of benefits of this online stuff. As I said earlier, we'll be using 2 blocks. Be sure to grab something, particularly if you use them when we twist and dip down like that. It'll be helpful to have something to lift the floor a little bit. So I will say my official good morning now. And just one more time, in case you've just joined in, we'll be using a couple of blocks. Last week, we talked about the Brahma Viharas. These are divine dwelling places in your soul, your mind. And the Buddha tells us that this is a place of goodness where we want to be. So we want to have metta, which is loving kindness. We want to practice karuna, which is compassion. Mudita, which is joy for others. And upeksha, or it's pronounced upeka in the Pali, which is the language that ancient Buddha scriptures were written in. So we want to be able, and that's equanimity, excuse me. We want to be able to have these as part of our life. So as we move on now, Sylvia Boorstein's taking us into the 6th step of the Noble 8-Foot Path by the Buddha. And that is wise effort. Wise effort is deliberately shifting the mind's attention so that equanimity can be reestablished. And remember now, we do this and through concentration so that we can kind of clear the path in order to see the wisdom that we already have inside of us. Let's sit in a position with our legs a little bit wider. And if this is available to you, try it. We take the fingers and we interlace between the toes. And if that's not happening, maybe you make a modification by just doing every other toe. And if it's still not happening, just rest the hands wherever they lay comfortably. We'll move into some cat-cows here. As you inhale, pull the toes back, lift the spine, open up, and maybe even look up. And then as you exhale, pull the belly in, let the feet come to flat, even tuck the chin. 2 more like that. Big inhale, pull toes back, lift up. Exhale, feet lower, chin lowers, belly pulls in. 1 more. Open up broad. And then let it go. Now keep your feet as they are, and we'll just move the body this time. So the spine is going to have a little more movement here. As you inhale, rock the pelvis forward, lift the heart, look up. And as you exhale, tuck and round. So feet are staying flat this time, but still keep the fingers interlaced if you can. Inhale to broaden, staying right on the sitting bones. And then exhale, round it out. 1 more like that. Inhale, expand. And exhale, round. All right, release the fingers if you had them interlaced. And let's come into a position of sitting on the toes like this. Toes are tucked underneath, and then hips are resting right on the heels. If you need to put a blanket between your knees right here, try that, and maybe even something underneath the ankles. Wherever you are, find a place that's relatively comfortable. Know that we're bearing weight into those toes, and you'll feel it in a few moments. From here, interlace right thumb on top. Pop the palms towards your screen, and we'll do cat-cows here. Inhale, expand by pulling the shoulders back. Exhale, pull forward as you pull the belly in, tuck and round. 2 more. Inhale, expand. Exhale, round. And again, inhale, broaden. Exhale, pull the belly in. Find your neutral spine as you lift the arms up, palms facing towards the sky.
Big inhale here to lift. And on the exhale, stretch to the right. Be mindful of twisting. We're trying to isolate the whole left side. Keep the weight on both heels. Another breath. Then inhale, lift right back up. We'll release the hands behind us, right thumb on top, interlace. Roll shoulders up and back and expand. Find a nice, big, broad chest, all the front side. You can let the head go back a little bit. Just pay attention. Pull the belly in. And now here we'll be very mindful so that we don't face plant in this next pose. Hinging forward. So right now the weight is still on my hips, my heels, but there will come a point, and for me it's right about here, where the weight lifts up and I get a little bit of imbalance. Pull the belly in, move mindfully, keep the back nice and arched as long as you can. You have to watch because your toes will want to lift up and you'll face plant. Then finding a place where finally you can release the chin, head touches the floor, and then play with the idea of lifting the arms very, very carefully. So we don't want to just unmindfully lift the arms away. You have to listen to your shoulders. Find that clearness in your mind so you can hear the wisdom as to whether or not it's okay for you to go deeper in this pose. One more breath. Maybe the hips come up a little bit. Coming back up. Think of arching the spine, leading with the chest. Lift back up. Release the arms. Come up to kneeling and let the toes go so they're nice and flat. Hands come to the hips. It's a tiny little camel pose. Roll the shoulders up and back, pull the belly in, and just gently push the hips forward at the same time. Fingertips are reminding us to push down so that the tailbone somewhat lengthens as we push the hips forward. Pull the belly in again. Come back up and we'll do side two. Tucking the toes under, release back down, left thumb on top, palms forward. Inhale, expand by pulling the shoulders back. Exhale, reach forward as you suck the belly in and drop the chin. Inhale, expand. Exhale, reach. And another one, take it back. And bow it out. Neutral spine as we come back up. Big inhale here, and on the out breath, bow to your left. Again, watch the hips because I know I can feel mine pushing to the right. I want to keep everything nice and stable. Watch the shoulders so they're not twisting. Keep belly strong. And make your way back up, releasing hands behind. This time left thumb on top. Shrug shoulders up and back. Expand the front side, open up. And then again, very mindfully, we start to hinge forward. So you can see in a pose like this why it's important to have equanimity, to have a place where we can see and hear clearly, because if I just plowed into this pose without paying attention, I'd risk falling straight on my face. I'm at the point now where it's getting a little bit shaky, so I'm going to lower down, tuck the chin, let my head rest on the floor, and then start to lift the arms away from the back if that's okay. And if it's not, I'll just stay right where I am. Taking another breath. And then we mindfully come back up. So we release the chin. There's a slight arch in the back as we lead with the chest. Coming all the way up. Nice start. Let's release everything and come on to all fours. Let the feet go and do a little shaky there so that you can bring some blood back into the toes. Should feel good. All right. I'll re-tuck the toes. Lift up, downward facing dog. Nice big stretch here. Come forward into plank pose. Bend the knees or not. Lower chaturanga. Inhale for cobra or up dog if you're already ready. And then come back onto all fours. From here, leaving the feet down, so not tucking the toes, let's just lift the knees an inch off the floor. And here we'll do cat-cows again. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Now watch out when you contract. Your knees want to lift up or lower. Try to keep them 1 inch. Inhale. And then exhale, round. And take one more. Inhale, expand. And then exhale, contract. Be mindful how you tuck the toes here. Lift back up, downward facing dog. Shoot forward into plank pose, again with knees or not. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Big, deep ujjayi breaths here. So there's 4 steps that we would take to ensure that we move into a place of wise effort. The first part is to think about the peaceful, calm, compassionate places in your mind. And when you notice them, make a commitment to keep them in your mind. So when you feel or see yourself act in a place of loving kindness, compassion, any of those good things, be aware of it and then try to make it so that you keep that in your essence. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop it up, come up halfway. Exhale, release forward. Inhale, standing. Arms come with you. Super big stretch at the top. We'll keep moving. Strong belly as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop it back straight through to chaturanga, or maybe you hang out in plank. Up dog, cobra, and downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Right leg to the outside of the right hand. Take a nice big twist to the right. Open up. Now imagine that your right hand is going to come right behind you and touch the floor. So it's that big of a stretch. Always checking into left shoulder. We want to make sure that's a safe place. And then come up over the right ear as if you were going to touch your fingertips on the left side. We'll do that 2 more times. Stretch as if you were coming behind you. Over the head to the fingertips. 1 more like that. Big stretch. And fingertips. Now dip it back down to center. Step the right leg back. Lower chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. And downward facing. Inhale. Exhale. Left leg outside of left hand. Twisting left. Taking left hand as if it were going to touch right behind you. And then come over the ear as if you were going to touch the right fingertips. Come back open to the left. Pay attention to that right shoulder. Don't let it sag. Arm over the head as if to touch the fingertips. 1 more. Big twist to the left. And then come over the head, touching fingertips. Dip the left shoulder. Come right back to plank position. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing, back to ujjayi breath. The second part of the path is to notice the absence of those wholesome states of compassion, kindness. And when you notice that, try to bring them in. Try to become that compassionate, kind person. So first we notice when we have that, and we try to keep that. Notice when we don't have it, and we try to call those qualities in. Bend your knees. Look forward, step or hop it up. Come up halfway. Exhale, release forward. Inhale to standing, arms with you. Nice big stretch. Let's do 1 more. Pull your belly in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step or hop it back. Straight through or hang out in a place that's good for you. Up dog or cobra. And downward facing dog. Big breath. In and out. Our left leg comes forward, high lunge position. If you can, let the palms meet at the top. And we'll do little tiny lunges here. Up, down, up, down. 1 more up, down. As you come up this time, circle the right ankle over, draw the hands to heart center. Squat down a little bit, hinge forward. We move into this kind of floating leg on the right side, and this is going to be important for later. So floating the leg, if you have to touch down, touch down. And now send it back, standing splits. Float as long as you can. Hands eventually touch the floor. Nice stretch. Now for your descent, you might just step it back, But if you want to try hopping back on the left leg straight into chaturanga, you can try that. It'd be trianga. Lift your beautiful heart, one-legged up dog or cobra. Come back, one-legged dog, right leg lifts. And then replace, down dog. Inhale and exhale. Same thing, right side. Right leg comes forward, interlace fingers, lift up for high lunge position. And we'll just do 3 little dippy squats. So we drop down, lift up, drop down, lift up, drop down, lift up. This time hands to heart, circle left ankle around, squat a little bit, hinge. Now think of floating left leg. So we lift, find that floating action, start sending the leg back, thinking standing splits. Go nice and mindfully with or without the hands. Eventually hands touch the floor. Nice stretch. Step or hop it back on the right leg or both legs. Lower. Lift your heart, maybe one-legged. Left leg would be up. Then come back up. One-legged dog. Lift it up. Left leg. Now replace the leg. Downward facing dog. Nice deep breaths. The third step, if you will, is to notice the absence of things like anger, greed, resentment. Make a vow to keep those out. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop it up. Come up halfway, exhale, release forward, and then inhale up to standing. We'll take arms with us, interlacing right thumb on top, pop the palms up, find a nice big stretch. All right, right leg comes up for tree pose. If you need to use your hands, go ahead and release the hand, but find the place that's perfect for you. Pull the belly in, find the slightest lengthening in the tailbone, and then watch for this kind of droopiness here. We want to feel as if the left leg is our rooting leg, it is, and we lift up as tall as we can. Inhale, palms facing up. As you exhale, bow to the right. Again, watching for twisting shoulders, trying to keep one line. Come on back to center. Release the hands. They'll come behind us. If you can, reverse prayer. If not, opposite elbow, or just rest the hands at the hips. That's fine too. One more nice big breath here. Maybe opening up into a little bit of a back bend. And now let's take the hands forward as we cross the right leg in front of the knee on the left side. Hinge forward, extend long. One more big breath. We're not staying super long. As you come up, peace fingers to the big toe on the right side, or maybe you're taking knee. Extending if you're extending. Leg out to the right, maybe drishti to the left. Come on back. Let the hands go, let the leg go. Point the toe, lift the leg, and release. Shake it out. You'll be happy to take the left leg up for tree pose after that. Inhale, lift up, left thumb on top. Pivot the palms up. Again, if you need the hand to draw the left leg up, go ahead and take it. Watch for droopy hip, lifting up out of the right hip, lift. And on the out breath, bow left. Try to pay attention to shoulders. We want to make sure they're not twisting. Come on back to center. Hands reach behind. Reverse prayer if possible. Otherwise, take a different place. Open up, maybe adding a little back bend. Draw hands center this time. Crossing left ankle. Find a little squat. Hinge. Again, we won't stay too long. It's a lot for that right leg. As you come back up, either peace fingers to the big toe on the left side, or maybe it's knee. Wherever you are, it's good, extending or not. Leg out to the left, maybe drishti to the right. Make sure to lift up in that standing leg. Leg comes forward, let it go. Hollow the belly, lift the leg, and release. Shake it out. Inhale, lift. Strong belly. Exhale, forward fold. We'll hold right here. From here, separate the feet a tiny bit. Come up halfway. Peace fingers to the big toes. Exhale, hinge forward. If your peace fingers don't reach the big toes, stop along the way. See if you can shift your hips forward so that we take the hips from behind the heels to right above. And so what I mean, if your peace fingers don't reach the toes, just stop at the ankles or the knees or anywhere. Now come up halfway, nice flat spine. Lift the toes, insert the palms underneath. Exhale, forward fold. Again, if that's not happening, bend your knees a lot and see if you can drop the head down. Another version, you can just invert the wrists at the shins or maybe on your blocks, but just find something nice for your wrists. Shake your head. Now releasing, we come up halfway. Step or hop it back straight through to chaturanga if you're hopping, but if you're stepping back, maybe you're holding plank, dropping to knees. All are good. Lift your beautiful heart up, dog or cobra, and come into downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. All right. Let's take the right leg up. Stack the hips, bend the knee, lift the head looking over left shoulder. So if you flip, go ahead and flip. If you side plank, take side plank, or just stay where you are. And if none of this is good, be sure that you're working on clearing your mind to hear that and come into something else. Wherever you are, come on back, downward facing dog. Hinge forward into plank. Pay attention to shoulders as we drop the right forearm down and then the left forearm, forearm plank. Right forearm up, left up. We'll do that 2 more times. Right down, left down. Right up, left up. Once more. Right down, right up, left up. Nice. Back to downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, pass it between your hands. Come up high lunge position. Again, if you can take what I call diamond hands, lift up. Find a nice squat, and then maybe you want to shallow this a little tiny bit as we come back into our dips. Lowering left knee down and lift up. Left knee down and lift up. One more time. Left knee down. Now come up to just hovering here. Take your hands to cactus. Come high on the right toes. So the left knee's hovering down, high on the right toes. Cat-cows. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. One more. Big, broad opening. And exhale. Drawing the heel back down. Coming up for your regular crescent lunge. So maybe it's a little longer stride now. Dipping down on the left side a little bit. Inhale, lift. Exhale, prayer twist right. Now pull the right hip crease back. Move into a place that feels really good, but at the same time, you know you're establishing this connection with the left arm and the right leg. All right, here's where we're going to do those little floaty things. So normally, when we do these, we either slide or step the left leg forward. Today, we're going to try to do this in a floating action. We come forward, left leg floats. Step it back without touching. Forward floating. Back without touching. Forward float and hold. Now step it down and find your revolved chair pose. You may have to pull the left knee forward, which means it's the left hip, and sink a little bit more. Big breaths here. You can stay. Maybe you release the arms, or maybe you come into Parsva-Bakasana. Play with something that feels good to you for the next breath or two. And those of us who are holding it, we're working hard too, because that right leg, that right hip hasn't gotten any break at all. All right, wherever you are, unfurl. We meet back here. Lift all the way up, hands to heart. Cross the right ankle, so we get a little break here. Here's where you may want your blocks. We're gonna move into a nice stretch and add Eka Pada Galavasana if you wanna do it. So, I'm all out of breath. So we come up, right ankle over left knee. Now just squat down. That should feel good, stretching that right hip. If you're hinging forward, maybe hands to the blocks and you just hang out like this and find that nice place in the right hip. Now, if you're moving on, you want to find the Galavasana grip, which is the right toes are hugging around high up on the arm. So you need to get a little bit lower and hug those toes around. I don't recommend lifting in Galavasana on the blocks. So if you're still new to it, maybe take your block, place it where the left shin will come forward and rest on the block. So this is a nice place to hang out. Eventually you would learn to lift up off the block. All right, so those of you who are doing the regular Galavasana, go ahead. The rest of us are stretching. So the Galavasana starts to look a little bit like this. You lift, and eventually the left leg comes up. Now find a place for everybody to step or hop it back, lower chaturanga, lift your beautiful heart, and then come back, downward facing dog. Nice deep breath, in and out. Take another one, in and out. And then one more, in and out. All right, let's go ahead and come back into downward facing dog. And we start left side. We drop left arm down, right arm down. Left arm up, right arm up. Left arm down, right arm down. Left arm up, right arm up. I think we did one more. Left arm down, right arm down. Left arm up, right arm up. Coming back into downward facing dog. Nice big stretch. Left leg lifts. Stack the hips. Bend the knee. So I'm lifting head, looking over the right shoulder. Already that may be enough for me, but if you're flipping, flip. If you're side planking, side plank. If you're staying, just stay. Another breath wherever you are. Come on back to neutral. All right, left leg lifts. We pass it through. Coming up, high lunge, diamond hands. All right, again, so I can already tell that I'm going to be going way far back in my lunge. So I'll shorten up a little bit so I'm actually driving the right knee straight down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. Now come up just a little bit, hands to cactus, lift the left toe. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract, cat-cows. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Take one more, broad opening. Nice, and then close it off. All right, releasing that, let's lift up so the heel comes back down and we find crescent lunge. Again, you may have to go a little bit longer to find